kids, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm working on my Roper. Today I'm working on my Roper Whitney metal brake, a finger brake. This is a 48-inch finger brake, and remember I got this. This was a dumpster dive. Before they put it in a dumpster, I was able to recover it. And one of the things that was wrong with it is back here, this pivot. Okay, watch right here. Watch how I hold the top beam and see how that's moving. That's not the brake moving on the table. That's that top beam moving, because hopefully you guys can see it. Down here, watch right here. You see that? So that's a bolt. That's supposed to be a pin. So that's the problem. So this top beam is moving all over the place because this bolt is in here. And I'm guessing that's the reason they scrapped this. What I did was I sanded down all the fingers using just a jitterbug sander, and I clear coated them. I did number them. I put new bolts in, and instead of using the cap screws, I used number 5 bolts because I had those. And then what I did on some of these is I actually smashed the washers down to the contour of the bevel in the finger. I'll show you that real quick. So here, let's go over to the bench. So here's one of those cap screws, and what happened was these Allens on those, they were stripped out, and this, it's been plaguing me for a long time. What I don't like about this, these things are stripped out. I don't like that. So you can see here, I just sanded this down. This is the original finish, so I just sanded it down, got the gunk off of it, and there was rust on it. And I cleared it. I did a little hand lettering. I've been messing around with that. And what I found out is when I was tightening these down, these washers were smashing, so the fingers were getting loose. So the only thing I was doing was I was taking this over to the anvil. Here's my hammer. Let's flip it around so I can hold it. And I just was giving it like that. And as you can see, it has a nice bevel. Sorry for that long intro, but I did lose some footage, so I had to, bring you up to speed. All right, let's start working on these fingers, getting them cleaned up, and then we got to get to the lathe, do some lathe work. I'm not going to bore you with the cleanup process. Here I'm just hand sanding. I did get out the jitterbug. It was easier. And then what I did was I chased the threads. Some of the threads were a little boogered up. And then once I had everything cleaned, I hand lettered them, numbered them, and then clear coated it. Well, you guessed it. I found a broken bolt. I can't imagine how this broke. I'm guessing I must have broke it somehow. You're not really torquing down on these things. So I'm hoping that I could drill it out and use an easy out. I do have two different style easy outs. If not, then I just end up drilling it out and retapping it. So let's head off to the mill, see what we're in for. So I just eyeballed this. I have a center drill in there. I did set up the stop. I marked it so I knew this side was against the stop, just in case I have to come back and actually drill that out. And I did set up my DRO, so everything's to 0. I locked my table, and I have my 1/8 inch drill bit. So let's just spot. I'm using an 1/8 inch drill bit because it matches my easy out. I really don't have much luck with these easy outs. So this is a 1/2 inch. We're just going to put it on there. I don't have much luck with any easy outs. And let's just tap this in. Okay. And we should be able to wind it out. So the way this style easy out works is essentially it has a left-handed spiral. So the idea is it'll
grip into the metal, so as you loosen the bolt, it'll grip in, and then it should remove the bolt. And of course it didn't work, so I went to the next size bigger because I didn't want to break that easy out. And needless to say, this didn't work. So none of the easy outs worked, which I didn't think they would. So what I ended up doing was I just got the proper drill bit size for that threads per inch, and because I set up pretty good on the mill, things were centered pretty good. I was able just to drill the bolt out and chase the threads, and everything worked out pretty good.
Okay, here, this is what we got. So that pin on the brake, it's .6385, and the part that it goes in to pivot, the pivot point is .7575. Now I want this to be an interference fit. I do want this to have some clearance because the other side has a bushing. So I found this bushing in my bolt bin, believe it or not, and that's .875. So that's plenty of room to turn that down. And interior or inner is .614. So that's perfect because I need .6385, because this bushing will just slide over top, and I'll have to have some wiggle room obviously, but I got plenty. I figured I might as well put a bushing on there. The other one has a bushing, I might as well just do it. So let's head to the lathe, and we're going to turn this thing .6385. I got to take a dimension. That thing's not very long. I don't even know if it's 2 inches, but I'll take a dimension. So let's head off to the lathe.
Now, I don't want you guys to think that I took this all in one pass. I'm just showing you one pass. So it was several passes to get to the dimension I needed.
Oh, look at that. .634. I only have to take off, what? A few thousandths here. I'm at 0. I gotta come this way. So that's 2. That's about 2 thousandths. Let's try that. Let's kick the speed up.
I was taking a bunch of light passes here, just like when I was turning down the shaft. I took several passes here. I don't want to overshoot the dimension.
That's what I want. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this off, throw it out in the snow to cool it down while we work on this outside diameter. Yeah, I like that. Because it just... Alright guys, let me explain this thing here. So this is an expanding mandrel. I have it set up, but I'll tear it apart for you. Okay, so the way this works, you see there's a Allen in there, right? And so you just chuck it in the lathe, and then you see the slots here. The Allen's tapered. You guys probably can't see that, but it's tapered, and what it does is it pushes down and expands it. Now what I did was, it wasn't expanding enough for my liking, so I just did a relief cut back here. And so you just find the right size that you need. I have a set of these that someone gave me. Actually, John gave these to me. I did a small little job for him, and I didn't want any money, but I told him to buy me these expanding mandrels. So that's how it works. Just tighten it down. Now that'll hold that in place. Real light cuts here.
And again, I sound like a broken record, but I just took my time here. Several passes, taking a few thousandths at a time. This dimension isn't real critical, but you know, I don't want to have it sloppy either. I am trying to fix a problem.
What? 5.754. That's about 0.753. That's close enough. I should have probably gave you guys a light here, but look at that. It fits good. That's exactly what I want. Can you see that? That's what I want. So, and actually, yeah, it's perfect. I think it fits better than the other one. All right, I have my shaft soaking in the snow, so I'm going to clean these edges up, put a little chamfer on it by hand, and bring that in, set you guys up, get a light. Hopefully I can bang it home. Hopefully I can bang my shaft right in that hole. All right, so I'm going to try this without heating it. I don't know if I'm going to have room to smack it. All right, let's see what happens.
This is a pretty gutsy move, doing this without heating it, but I really didn't want to heat it. You see that sitting on a wood bench, and I'm by myself today. I really don't want to burn the shop down today.
This ain't gonna do shit. Should have heated it. Should have marked it too. Man, I should have put earplugs on. Huh. How about that? I think it's in. see it. But yeah, it is. It's in. It's up against. There was a weld back here that got ground off. No kidding. Wow. So that worked. I should have coated it with some oil, but I didn't. So there we go. Nice. And you know, it goes in there. So let's put the bushing on it and get this thing in place. All right, there we go. Now I don't have the fingers on, right? But watch. See how smooth this works? It doesn't move back and forth like it did before. Remember, this is original. See? Actually, I'm gonna have to adjust this, I think. That's okay, I can do the old adjust-a-rooney. So, alright, good. So let's put it back together. Once I get it together, I'll make the adjustments that are necessary. But we're on the right track. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to show you in another video how to adjust the brake. But this was great. This was a good success. I really needed to get this done. Get that shaft made, and I have some projects that I need this for, and this is a long time coming. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.